You're watching the Resting State Network. I'm Ryan Cordell, and this is Cluster Analysis. Tonight we bring you an update from our neurometeorologist, Alan Fishbone. And then we take a close-up look at the effects of resting state research on today's youth. But first we begin in Paris, France, with the recent premiere of Le Septième Jour, or The Seventh Day, which has captivated audiences. Director Andrew Bachelin told those in attendance how thrilled he was to finally see his two adolescent passions come together: cinema and the analysis of spontaneous brain activity. Truly, truly amazing. Let's go to the clip.
C'est fini.
Quoi?
Ça, c'est... Les cerveaux. C'est ce que les gens ils ont fait quand ils ont bougé le doigt. Ils ont activé le cortex moteur. Et c'est ça que j'ai fait. Je les ai scannés et je les ai dit à rien faire.
Rien.
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 Rien. Rien du tout.
Ça veut dire qu'ils ont simplement resté là.
Oui, il restait là dans un état de reste, quoi.
Ok.
Donc, j'ai pris un lieu dans le cortex moteur pour analyser s'il y a une liaison entre ces points-là et le reste du cerveau.
Et alors?
C'est ce qui s'est passé, c'est que le cortex, il semblait dans un état d'activité, comme il était...
Ça veut dire qu'il y a une organisation du cerveau fonctionnellement présent même dans un état d'irrest.
Peut-être, j'ai même pas pensé à ça, j'ai rentré tout de suite pour te voir. Et donc, comment tu as fait cette recherche, cette découverte sur le cerveau comme ça?
J'ai lu les articles que tu as laissés ici, j'ai regardé, et finalement je me rendais compte qu'il y a toujours une région du cerveau qui est en activité lorsque les gens sont dans un état de repos, ici et ici.
Donc voilà le lieu d'activité spontanée.
Oui, psychologiquement, on verra.
Le Septième Jour will be opening in theaters across the country this weekend. Bon appetit. Now we go to our very own board-certified neurometeorologist, Alan Fishbone. Over to you, Alan.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, let's have a look at upcoming intrinsic activity for the weekend. As you can see here, default mode network and task positive networks are up to their usual shenanigans, in and out, yin and yang. Looks like the usual pattern of daydreaming and intense concentration for the weekend. Default looking a little bit dominant. Visual looking good, motor looking good, as long as there are no sudden alcoholic fluctuations in from the south. And updated real-time satellite imagery indicates some turbulence in the precuneus region that could get very interesting early in the week. But, as the Latin philosopher Seneca said, quies inquieta est. Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Alan, whatever that means. Last week we interviewed Dr. Kitao Sakurai as he shared his hopes for the future of brain research.
Imagine the brain as the ocean. Up till now, we've really only been studying the shoreline. To me, what resting state analysis is allowing us to do is to create a kind of submersible that can go really to the bottom of what we know and can know.
But what was most touching was his wish for the children.
Yeah, I completely agree. I too think that the three things that children should be taught in school are geography, proper spelling, and various approaches to resting state fMRI data analysis. I mean, for me, it was really these three things that were critical to my development as not only a research scientist, but also as a husband and a father of 5 beautiful girls. Here, let me show you a picture of.
Last week, after our clip aired, we were contacted by a young man from Berlin who said that his life was changed by resting state research. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear it from him.
Ich meine, bis vor ein paar Jahren, ich war jeden Tag auf dem Alex, ja, wir haben diese ganze Scheiße gemacht, wir haben Leute abgezogen, wir haben rumgefickt und dann hat FMRT einfach mein Leben verändert, ja. Und ich wünsche mir, dass mehr von den Kids, die heute auf der Straße sind, auch verstehen würden, wie wichtig einfach funktionale Konnektivität ist, ja, für dein Leben, fürs Gehirn, für alles. Ich meine, heute, was soll ich sagen? Ich bin an der Uni, ich habe eine Stelle, ich mache, ja, Masterberatung und es hat mein Leben verändert, es hat mich von der Straße geholt. Es ist einfach wichtig, das zu wissen und das rauszubringen an die anderen Kids, die draußen sind.
Amazing. Truly amazing. But not everybody agrees that resting state research is in fact good for the kids. In order to discuss this controversial topic further, we brought together 2 experts in a little segment we like to call Hardballs. Welcome to Hardballs. With me today we have 2 esteemed researchers. On my right, Dr. Jan Schnitzel. We have Dr. Paul Salami. You ready to knock some balls?
I want to say that the growth in default mode in resting state literature has provoked good questions and good experiments, and these are all largely beneficial to the youngsters making their way into research, right? But I honestly don't think that studying rest itself is particularly useful. If you want to study behavior, you do it the old-fashioned way, like we used to do it. You do it experimentally.
This is not so. The important distinction is not between rest and task, but rather between intrinsic and evoked activity.
If we both agree that spontaneous activity is present in all cognitive states, I don't see why we have to link it specifically, Ryan, to rest.
We certainly don't link it exclusively to rest. But resting state is the condition under which these spontaneous fluctuations have most extensively been studied.
But that is fundamentally unpsychological.
No!
Unpsychological!
You are fundamentally unpsychological.
At least I'm willing to study cognition in the moment of the cognitive event.
Whoa, gentlemen, it's getting a bit hot in here. Let's take things down a notch. Actually, it looks like we're just about out of time. Next week on Cluster Analysis, we'll be hitting the road with Michael Bilham, legendary folk singers. He's traveling the road, sharing the history of the Resting State Network in song. Thank you for watching Cluster Analysis on the Resting State Network. I'm Ryan Cordell, and you're under arrest.
We know more about the brain today than we did yesterday. But not as much as we'll know tomorrow. Now, resting state analysis is the vehicle that's going to transport us to that greater understanding of tomorrow.